Okay, all right. So today we will not jump into the details for today. Okay, so tomorrow we can see the detail part. So in every organization, when we try to build something as a solution architect or as a DevOps engineer, we need to think on the cost as well. Okay, because that also may get the major impact in the infrastructure cost management. So most of the company might use paid tools, or we can use AWS Cost Manager. This one. So whenever we work on any particular project or any something, so we cannot go and blindly create the heavy resources. Okay, let's say your use case is very simple and straightforward. So in that case, if you are unnecessarily creating the huge request, huge servers like C4 large or any R series or more than that M series or like that. So instead of that, you can just right sizing your EC2 instance. So the costing part, the infrastructure cost is very important when you are trying to deal with this architecture. Okay, so that's if you read about the AWS 6 pillar. So in that case, they have mentioned like when you design the architecture, you should focus on that as well. Definitely, you should consider the scalability performance, but apart from that, cost also the factor is there. So you need to take it properly. So for that, you need to understand the requirement first clearly. Understand the requirements, or is it a long-term project or short-term? Okay. Then what is the use case of, let's say if you are using EC2 based instance, for example. Okay. So in that case, how much storage you required? Because if you aware about this, we can increase the disk space, but we cannot decrease it. Okay, in the EC2 section. Definitely, if you use normal traditional way, like LVM or something, in that case you might be, but in the EC2 cases, you cannot reduce the volume size. Okay, only you can increase the volume size. So just try to use minimum one, the storage point of view, and wherever possible, you need to enable this monitoring part. Monitoring part means what you are for the billing. We can set up the billing budget right from the here console or your other part. Let's say this one, okay, not this here. Here, if you are getting unnecessary or surprise billing, so you can at least avoid this by getting the budget. So at least let's say you have configured for the $2. If that bill is crossed, so after $2, so at least you can just aware or you can just check which resources getting more cost or something like that. So this is just a personal account, so I just configured for the $2, and you can see the threshold increase, and you will get the automatically alerts on the mail. Okay. Sometimes some people use other tools like AWS budget. There are number of tools available in the market. Sometimes it's a paid one or free tier, whatever. Okay. So time company use any something paid. So we are using this cloud ability. This is a separate finance team. So we are not actively used because when you are dealing with this multi enterprise project, so you don't need to take care everything in the infrastructure. They have a segregated responsibility. We have a platform team, we have a cloud finance team where we need to take the approval for account setup. Okay. So that is a very real-time use cases. So as a costing part or monitoring part, you don't need to worry about that because that will handle by the separate team. But as a normal use cases, I'm just explaining here. So we need to think about the infrastructure costing as well. Okay, so they are using this cloud ability tool to design the cost and monitoring part. So there are number of tools available in the market. So we need to when we want to reduce then infrastructure cost, we need to identify the use cases, workload, or we can use any monitoring tools to check the track, or let's say 3 months or 6 months. What is the use cases? Let's say you have created the CPU C4 series, for example, which is a 4 GB RAM and 2 core something, for example. But that's underutilized, means only using the or consuming the 1 GB RAM only and very minor CPU utilization. So why do you need to pay unnecessary to the AWS? Okay, because AWS is a pay as you go model. So in that case, you can if you get the proper records like last 6 months, there is very less utilization or underutilization. So in that case, you can just quickly reduce that instance time, for example. Okay. And for the storage part, so don't create unnecessary huge volume. Let's say you required only 10 GB or 20 GB, for example. So don't create 50 GB or something like that. Okay. So you can increase any time without taking any major downtime. And you will not lose any single data there during the size increase increment. Okay. So only you cannot reduce the EBS volume. So that is the reason always consider the lower size of the EBS volume. Okay. For the S3 bucket storage optimization, it automatically whatever the storage you are putting, it will charge based on that, but it's very cheaper one. But just if you consider the EC2 point of view, just don't create the huge volume there, huge size volume. You cannot reduce. In that case, you need to create new volume with the lower size and just migrate this data to that part. So that is additionally hectic work there. And we need to perform the regular audits as well. Okay, this might be sometimes done by the separate audit team or security team, or sometimes we need to internally review this infrastructure. So what is the utilization? Because we know better than audit team, right? Which is the functionality and the how it's workload. So they mightly focus on security part, but as we regularly you need to check the performance, like how it's underutilized or overutilized. If it's sometimes right logic implemented, but still it's overutilized, so in that case, you can definitely increase the capacity. But if it's underutilized, so in that case, we can just reduce the server capacity. So we normally, you might heard about this right sizing the EC2 instance. So that is the part we can use accordingly based on the use cases. Okay. Or sometimes we can use auto scaling. So unnecessary creating the 2, 3 servers in the production system. You can simply configure the auto scaling based on your CPU utilization metrics. If CPU utilization cross 65%, for example, so add one more service automatically. So in that case, you don't need to worry about or don't need to pay unnecessary cost by running the parallel multiple instances in that case. And on the top of that, you can use your load balancer as well for the better architecture. Okay. If any business analyst is kind of for any bad job you want to perform, so in that case, you can also use spot instance where what happened basically, so AWS has lots of unused resources. So in that case, they offer as a spot instance. So we cannot use that for the production one because they might be terminate in between. I mean the short notice. So they have a different logic there. So if you can go and just read about that little bit, what is the EC2 spot instance, we will get more theoretical knowledge on that. This is just for the non-critical workloads to perform any batch operation or something. Reserve one instance also there. Let's say you have a long-term project you are running for the database or EC2 instance. So in that case, you can use reserve instance. That will almost give you the 50% cost benefits. If I use AWS calculator, you can use this very pretty simple calculator designed by the AWS. You can simply create estimate here. Just region-wise cost might be vary little bit. Okay, just make a note of this. Let's say I'm just selecting the Mumbai region here and search the service, for example, EC2 instance. Just configure it. And here you need to select the instance type, instance class. For example, you can just search or you can just select from here as well. Okay. For example, T2 micro. And from here you can see if you select on demand, by default, when we try to launch or create any situations, it's by default on demand. Okay. You can see the cost, monthly cost is $9.05, for example. Okay. If you go with this reserve instance or saving plan, you can see almost, let's say, all upfront. No upfront means you need to pay the bill monthly basis. Okay. Partial amount means we normally use word like advance amount, right? You need to pay some sort of advance payment here, and remaining will be monthly billing. All upfront means you can pay at a one time in the advance, and just rest of the period you will not get any billing here. So if you select like let's say no upfront, then for 1 year you can see 6.50, little bit discount. But if you go the longer period, let's say 3 years, you will get more discount. So if you compare with the on demand, you can see $9, and if you compare with this, you will get almost 50% discount in the billing. But only just make a note of this. Once you purchase the reserve instance, you cannot cancel it. You need to pay the remaining amount for that. So before purchasing any reserve instance plan, you need to first decide with your client team or your whatever the internal team, tech lead or architect team, architect, basically your colleague. You want to go with this or not? Okay, because you cannot cancel later on. So if you are satisfied or confident like this project will be for the long-term project, so in that case, you can definitely go with this because you will save lots of cost there. Same thing you can apply for the database as well. You can also purchase database user instance. And one more thing here, I can just show you. Let's say this is we added for the data EC2 instance. If you're a client or your manager told you like, just can you just give me the quotation for the infrastructure cost where let's say we have just added the EC2 instance. So same thing we can add for the database, for example, Amazon RDS for MySQL. Okay, just configure it. So you cannot instead of going the Excel sheet, you can just simply use this calculator and just for example, instance class you can select from here. Let's say, for example, you can see M4 large. Okay, where we will get 2 core and 8 GB RAM. Utilization definitely on 100%. If you require multi-AZ or single AZ, you can just select based on that. So let's say we are considering this for the production one. So we can use cluster here. Pricing model on demand. And let's say no for now. How much hard drive or storage you required? Let's say 30 GB storage you required. Just add this. And whatever the any more configurations or backup you required, you can just configure that as well. Let's say additional backup storage, let's say 1 GB. You can see monthly cost is coming $365. Okay, for the database. Because we have considered here M4, M4 large. If you don't want multi-AZ, let's see how much difference. Okay, you can see almost double, right? $182. If I make it multi-AZ, you can see 365. Matlab, he will create parallel two server, right? One master and one replica servers. So that's why he's just adding the cost for that server. So when you design architecture for your project, for example, for dev environment and for test environment, you can consider single instance. But for the production one, you can define the multi-AZ. Okay, when you are trying to write the Terraform code, so in that case, you can just add the environment wise. If let's say we are doing in this CDK code now, if environments equal to production, only use multi-AZ. Otherwise, else use non-production means your single AZ. Okay, because you can see the difference between simple multi-AZ and single AZ. It's almost double the cost. So why you unnecessarily pay your double cost for the lower environment like your non-production, dev or test environment? So only production you can consider this multi-AZ option. And once you done with this all the changes, you can simply save it. Okay, and just click on view summary. You will see cost like this. Let's say for this EC2 instance, for this RDS. Okay, And now you can export this in PDF format. You can see the option here, export to PDF. So before that, you can just simply edit this name. Let's say e-commerce project, for example. Okay. And just save it and just export to PDF. You can just simply download this PDF and share with your manager or your architecture, whoever demanding, for example. Save as a PDF and just save it. When if you want to open it, so you can share this as it is PDF file to your manager or who is demanding the quotation basically. So you don't need to use any other tool or something. If you have any better tools available in the market, you can definitely go with that. But this is somehow you can use from the AWS side as well for the calculation part. And so you can share this public URL. If I try to hit the incognito, so I can see this quotation. So this is the just for the sample for the EC2 and the RDS. Same thing you can design for the API gateway, your RDS or so Lambda function, ECS container, other Kubernetes or something like that. So depend on the tech stack available in your project. So based on that, you can just calculate the cost. Storage optimization, which we already discussed. Don't create unnecessary high size volume, okay? Because you cannot reduce it. So use minimum one. Whenever you require, you can just increase anytime, okay? Wherever you feel, let's say if you can manage through the Lambda function. So why you should create unnecessary EC2 instance to perform, let's say you want to add any or execute any bash scripting or any particular script throughout the day, for example, once in a day or something. Okay. So instead of running 24/7 EC2 instance, instead of that, you can use or consider this serverless like Lambda function or something. So in the Lambda function, you have this very pretty simple event driven system or feature, event bridge. Anyone heard about this? For example, this Lambda function you have, if you want to trigger once or twice a day, you can simply add the trigger here. Just click on this trigger, add trigger for that particular Lambda function, and you can see multiple trigger option is available. So I never tried the remaining one, but as simple CloudWatch, okay, this one event bridge. This is similar to your cron jobs or task scheduler on the Windows system. So either you can create new rule here, giving the rule name or whatever the description, okay, and you can give the format here. Okay. If you want to execute daily basis, you can just give this format, rate daily one. Or if you want to mention or execute for particular time period, Monday to Friday or something like that, and any particular timing, you can just add here as it is. Just copy and just paste here, for example, and just add it. So based on the event, you have just added the timing, it will execute. It will automatically execute. So you don't need to worry about the managing the Linux server and executing that cron jobs there. So wherever possible, you can just think about the serverless. And whenever you transfer the data in between, like you are downloading or uploading the data frequently in the S3 bucket or your EBS volumes, that also data transfer cost will there. And for the non-production server, which is let's say you are using EC2 server or ECS container, okay. So your office timing is 9 to 5, for example. If your office timing is 9 to 5, or just for example, okay. So for the dev non-production server, let's say dev and your test environment. Okay, you can at least run this environment in between this working business hours, 9 to 5, because we developer want to test something, we want to deploy something or like that. But what after business hours? Let's say in the night period, basically night time. So why you need to unnecessarily pay the bills for night timing? You can say almost 12 hours, for example. Okay. So out of 24 hours, if you save 12 hours billing cost, so you will save lots of budget there for the infrastructure side. So you can automatically schedule, either you can use Lambda function or you can use system manager maintenance window. There is option is available. Let me show you quickly. If you visit system manager, this is very really interesting to one. You can just explore system manager. So there are lots of options available, like your patch manager, your change window, and other setup as well. Okay. So we have this maintenance window here. So you can, if you have a RDS instance, if you have a EC2 instance, so instead of writing the Lambda function, okay, you can simply just create maintenance window as well here. You can just set your timing when you want to stop or start the time server back. So all the stuff you can just mention here. So if you don't want to manage through the Lambda function, you can use that system manager as well. And apart from this, if you have any other expertise like writing the cron job or any bash script from any particular server, you can use that as well. But these are the feasible one. You can easily manage through the Lambda function and your system manager, change manager service maintenance window. So your whatever the EC2 instance or your ECS container, you can automatically shut down after the business hours. And next day, you can write down one more logic or lambda, let's say lambda function logic, to automatically start it next day early morning, let's say 9 a.m. for example. So in this way, you can automatically save the cost for the non-production server. So that will definitely help out you to save a lot of cost. This one we already discussed, like automate the cost monitoring and alert which budget or something, or sometimes some enterprise organization use uh, pay tool as well to monitor the cost, and wherever possible they can just take the action accordingly and just save it. Any question in this cost optimization part? This question might come in the entry panel, so how you can optimize the cost or something. AWS is already providing this billing feature. It's very pretty simple, so you don't need to go any third party. But where some large organization, they can use third party tool where they can add multiple AWS accounts and centralized point. They can use those to monitor the costing as well.
So this billing part is defined to the same tenant only. Like we don't add multiple AWS account with this same billing feature.
You can use, some company use organization unit. If you have multiple AWS accounts, then sometimes company use this feature, AWS organization, where you can create one organization and you can add multiple AWS accounts. As of now, I don't have more account, but if you have any additional accounts, or from, you can just try with your friend account. Just add here in this organization. So
Okay.
instead of going to each account, you can just monitor from here as well.
Yes, because in our personal we have one, but I assume in company we must have more than that.
Yes, 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 definitely.
This is very helpful, the cost optimization.
Yeah. Anyone in your